I've got with me a Canadian who went from Newfoundland and is currently living, I think, in Toronto.
Yeah.
And his name is synonymous for pop and fuzzy feelings. Uh, he's a singer-songwriter, and from what I remember watching on YouTube, you were actually doing a lot of music on your guitar, which is an acoustic guitar. Any other musical instruments that you tend to actually play with?
I like piano, but I wouldn't play in front of anybody intentionally.
Yeah, intentionally. So, tell me this. I came across you on, I think it was TikTok, and then we started talking, and I insisted on doing an interview, and you're going, why? And the whole reason why is because you're more recognized than what you may put on yourself. When did you actually start seeing that you were interested in music and wanted to go further than just experimenting?
Music is kind of the only thing that ever really grabbed me. Up until that point, I was just I was kind of going to school. I never had much interest in any sort of academic field. My parents were very frustrated with my sort of lack of interest in anything other than hanging out with my friends and gallivanting around town. And then I found music, and it very much, it gave me a purpose. Like, I didn't see much for myself past 18. Like, my mom was like, you're going to have to get a job or get out, essentially. And I was like, I can't see me being happy doing anything. And then I found music, and it was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Okay. And so, and then shortly after I started writing music, and I started playing, small bar gigs and cover gigs, and I never looked back.
Okay, and then when did you move from Newfoundland to Toronto?
The second I turned 19. Yeah, I grew up in Corner Brook, essentially.
Okay.
And that's a very small city. So it's like I did the local open mics for, like, the underage, because I was, like, 14, 15. And then when I was about 17, I dropped out of high school and moved to St. John's and started gigging in and around, like, George Street, St. John's area. Same thing, like, open mics, cover gigs, like, small bars and venues. Okay. And then when I turned 19, I came out here and repeated the process, essentially.
Okay. And how's the process going for you in Ontario?
I will say I think I've been very lucky. There have been rough points, of course, but when I first came up, I was 19. I had a friend from Newfoundland move up here. His parents were able to set him up with an apartment, so I had a couch to sleep on. And I just came up and I started busking on the streets and playing open mics until I was able to get gigs. And now, post-pandemic, in the current job market and economy, I'm able to work pretty steadily because I enjoy playing pop music. I enjoy playing the Noah Kahan, the Ed Sheeran stuff. So I'm working 4 or 5 nights a week playing cover gigs, and the rest of my time I get to put into my original work and writing and releasing music and recording and doing that. So I would say it's going really well.
Oh, that's good. The uncertainty of COVID or post-pandemic became it kind of turned everyone sideways, because then the gigs started coming, and then they started coming in small trickles, and eventually everybody decided to actually open up full tilt, because mask or no mask, the virus is amongst us, and it's almost like a Walking Dead episode where everyone has it.
Yeah, no, it is. It's the pandemic was definitely a hard time, and especially just after the pandemic is what I found the hardest, because during the pandemic the government took pretty good care of gig workers, because they were like, we screwed you guys over. There's nothing you can do now. And so I was on, I think what was it called? Do you remember?
It was a not a bailout program, but it was a support program, and I can't remember what they were calling it.
Yes, but I was had that, but then when that got cut off, but the gigs and the live music economy wasn't quite open yet. That was a difficult time. But honestly, this last couple of years have been kind of great because I'm able to get back into the smaller venues. I'm able to do shows with like other local artists and stuff.
Yeah,
so it's great.
I was watching one with Nell. I can't remember her last name. She was accompanying you for one of your songs that you were playing, and she was the second vocal giving you support.
Yes, Nell Somerville.
Thank you. Now, what brought me to actually do some deep dives on trying to find out more about you was the fact that your name came up all over the place. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and you name it. Some people were giving reviews, and I'm going, well, there's more to this man than I think, because I know that your niche. I don't like using that word. Your level of expertise is on the pop folk type of vibe, from what I've been able to read and from what I've been able to listen to.
Yeah.
Now, the whole internet couldn't give me as much as I wanted, but the one thing I do enjoy is that you did post a lot of your singles on Spotify. So with that, we got to feel a little bit more if we weren't sitting down and actually seeing you live in the set. And then I fell on the last one that you released was TCH. And I started going, why would he actually write about that? It's kind of off. But then again, I mean, when did you actually decide to post on Spotify? Was it something that you started doing when you were in Newfoundland, or was it only when you actually moved to Ontario?
So I've been releasing music on as many streaming platforms as I can get access to since maybe 2018 or 19. Lucky was the first single I put out, and then I put out the Lucky EP shortly after. My philosophy with releasing music and putting it out there is very much that of my predecessors, I believe, in the sense that you put the music out there to share it with as many people as possible, and to get people who connect with it to come out to shows and to come out to sing them with you and to hang out and share those moments and those experiences. So yeah, I've been posting on Spotify my whole career, and I intend to continue posting on Spotify.
Okay, so at least that works for you. If you're not the musician type that's actually looking for full-fledged wages, Spotify.
Well, yes, there is something to be said about that for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, in your case, because you're doing gigs, you show up at various locations. The Spotify is another way for people that are in the area and like me, where you're diving for information on the artist. They eventually see that you're in Ontario, and they'll probably connect with you in one way or another and say, "Hey, we want your style to actually come and grace the lovely restaurant / cafe / bar."
Yeah, of course. And I think that's kind of the thing. Like, there are definitely better streaming services. There are streaming services that are much better to their artists. There are more ethical streaming services by far. But I think in the same way that, like, the music industry is always changing, the promotion industry is always changing. Like, I think with the coming of AI and stuff like that, like, these streaming services weren't around 60 years ago.
No, it was Napster. It was Napster, and what was the other one? There was
LimeWire.
Yeah, but those were people illegally sharing music instead of doing streaming. So it was an entirely different ball game during that period, and I remember them unfortunately well.
Yeah, I think with this this whole era that we're living through right now is going to, hopefully, this is my hope and my dream, that it leads to a resurgence in an appreciation of live music and like live like music with instruments. Like I understand there's a lot to be said for
synth.
like I've worked with I've worked with a lot of artists who can do incredible things with like synthesizers and electronic stuff, but I really think that the streaming and the AI fad is going to create a real hunger for authentic live in the room with the artist music.
Yeah.
And I look forward to that.
Well, I mean, a lot of the musicians that I met in the Maritimes, there's short of a few pop artists that tend to go with artificial music. They've got whatever they need to actually do their creations, but there is such a thing as having a low quality bar that some won't go higher because it's either too costly to actually go higher, but then staying low means that you're playing on the harpsichord that was given to you by a musical teacher with a little pen that you can actually go up in the octaves. But I love live music. I mean, blues can't be done in any other fashion than if you're doing it on the guitar, doing it on piano, but it has to be very close to realism instead of fantasy. The same goes with you. I mean, you wouldn't be Neil playing at a gig if you weren't doing it on your guitar and singing with your own voice.
Exactly.
So, apart from the singles, are you actually looking at releasing a full-fledged album sometime down the road?
So, I haven't really announced much, or I mean, I'll tell you. I mean, it's not a secret. This is all part of an EP. So I recorded 6 tracks. And so I put these 3 singles out, and now come January, I'm going to drop another single and the EP as a collection. So I'll drop the single and 2 new songs as a collection with the 3 singles included.
Nice.
And that'll be on, all streaming services, YouTube, and I'll probably do up physical copies for that, like just little EPs, whether it be, there's 3 options, right? It's vinyl, CDs, or we'd go to cassettes or something, but it'd essentially be for fun, right? Just for merch, for people to support, because the music is wherever people want to get it. And then I have another single that I plan to release after the EP sometime next year.
Okay.
That I'm in the process of recording.
Okay. So do you have a name for the EP that's going to be dropping in the new year?
So it's going to be the Stuck in My Head EP. So Stuck in My Head is already out. And that's like the main single off of the EP, for sure.
Okay. So, I mean, the fact of the matter is, in your case, is that you're doing everything fresh. The songs that you released are yours. They're written by you. They're interpreted by you. They're orchestrated by you. It must be something a little bit weird when somebody calls out, "Hey, can you cover this song for me?" And then there you go at your gig and you actually take requests. Depending on the type of artist. There are artists that I've known here in Moncton that tend to do a lot of gigs, but their gigs are mainstream bar grill. And they typically take requests for songs because they just do cover songs 3/4 of the time. They don't have a recording history. They don't have a musical history other than being able to play in bands or play solo or play duo or play whatever that's available for them to bring and do with. Do you find it difficult to actually accommodate the audience's tastes?
It's partially because I've been doing it for a while. I'm pretty comfortable with what I can and can't do. But also, like, I've been lucky in the sense that the music that I love is kind of mainstream. I got into writing because of Ed Sheeran. I was raised on like Paramore and Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco and like all these like pop punk bands.
Mm-hmm.
And like my mom really loved 80s dance music and lately the artists I've been listening to are like Noah Kahan, Cam Whitcomb, Evan Honer, right? Like these are all pretty mainstream names. So therefore, in terms of requests and the bars that I play at, I get to mostly just play what I want. And when people come up and ask if I take requests, I simply say if I know it, I will play it, right? And yeah, sometimes they come up and they ask for a song I don't know, and I say I'm sorry, and maybe they won't tip me, but it's it's not. People generally don't get upset, and it's usually not a big deal. And like I'm not going to get fired for not playing requests. So I'm sure there are venues that might be a little more strict on that, but I typically don't take those kind of gigs.
Yeah, it's not like La La Land where the owner of the restaurant says, okay, don't do jazz, just play Christmas music, just go simple.
And then I don't know any. I don't really cover Christmas music. I don't really do Christmas gigs. Yeah, for sure. And it's not from a place of, oh, I don't want to play that music. It's just from a place of, like, I do what I do well, right? I can interpret the artist that I love well because I can relate to the music. And it's just stuff that's not for me isn't for me,
That I can understand. Now, with the fact that you're now in Toronto, as a person, do you even have time for hobbies?
I mean, yeah. I feel very fortunate that I'm able to do what I do. It's like 3-4 nights a week I play. Mm-hmm. So that's like 3 45-minute sets of music. And that usually covers most of my expenses. And then I spend the rest of my time writing music and playing music. So in terms of like free time, my job is my hobby and my passion.
Okay.
Right? So it's like, I mean, yeah, like if I'll take a day off here and there and play some video games or sleep in. But when I get up, I usually reach for my guitar and hang out and do the thing. So
so basically,
I don't find myself longing or reaching for free time very often.
Okay, so basically you nurture the musical garden with the seeds and make sure that they grow into little shrubs, little plantlings, and then eventually trees giving you fruit that you can actually provide as a method of enjoyment for other listeners that are actually passing by.
Yeah.
So with that said, the last question would be a little bit off kilter. What's your favorite food dish? And by that I mean, if you had a buffet of items that you can easily eat, if there was one particular item that was always present that you always go for.
I would have to say chicken fajitas. They're probably, and it definitely was back to like my family. That was one of the few things we'd get together, and my mom and dad would make chicken fajitas, and they'd lay out all the ingredients, and we'd put them together ourselves. And yeah, like throughout my life, that's always kind of been the thing where it's like, oh, I'll make you anything you want for dinner.
Chicken fajitas.
Chicken fajitas. I really love chicken fajitas. Yeah. Especially in the last few years, I've gotten into spices and stuff and spicy foods, and that brings it to a whole new level. So
it does. A little bit goes a long way, but doing it over a long period of time is. I've learned that it can become a burden when you hit a certain type of year or age. Your stomach doesn't really cope well with very spicy foods.
I'll have to enjoy it while I can then.
There you go. Is there anything you want to drop before we finish this interview?
I mean, check out my website for all my upcoming shows and releases and stuff like that.
And the website is www.
It's just BaileyJordanNeal.com.
There you go.
Pretty much anything you're looking for from me will be under my name.
which is simplistic. It doesn't have to be more overcomplicated.
No, exactly. Yeah, sometimes I'll meet an artist and I'm like, you're incredible, and like I love your personality, I love your sound, all of it. And it's like, what's your Instagram? And they say like a word I don't understand, and his name is like Jason, and it's like, why'd you do this?
Well, either way, Bailey, thank you so much, and I hope that you have a wonderful evening and a wonderful week for the rest of the week, anyways.
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. This was a wonderful conversation. I'd love to do it again.
Okay, well, I'll take you up on that when your EP comes out next year.
Wonderful. I'll see you then.
See you.